The Lexus brand has bought us many things over the years, but prior to 2017, the company had never made a 7-seat car. This longer wheelbase L version of the marque's 4th generation RX luxury SUV put that right, with subtle changes over the standard model enabling a 3rd seating row to be inserted at the rear. Otherwise, all the RX features that loyal buyers like are carried over intact. This RXL body style has really broadened this model's appeal and was usefully updated in 2019 to create the car we're going to look at here. The Lexus brand omotenashi principles of hospitality these days extend to family buyers with more than a couple of kids, thanks to the availability of this RXL luxury SUV. Apart from the 110mm increase in length and slightly more vertical rear tailgate necessary to facilitate the 3rd seating row, the recipe here is exactly as it is in the normal 5-seat versions of the 4th generation RX model. So there's an overwhelming emphasis on non-plug-in hybrid petrol power and sumptuous standards of luxury in the leather-lined cabin. The 4th generation RX was first introduced in 2015 in 5-seat form. This RXL variant followed in 2017 when Lexus realised that it would need a 7-seat version if it was to properly compete with segment rivals. Both body styles received a mid-term update in mid-2019, which brings us up to date, and the car that I'm going to test today. So what's a hybrid RX like to drive? Well, it's a full hybrid, the only one in this segment. Don't be confused by comparisons with the mild hybrid technology that rivals like Audi's Q7 offer. That's not the same thing at all, as you'll discover when you come to drive an RX. Once you've luxuriated in the beautiful leather seats and enjoyed the commanding SUV-style driving position, you press the starter button to be greeted by, well, nothing. Let's try it. The engine's running, true enough, it's just that at this point it's doing so silently under battery power alone, and once you set off, if you've a gentle right foot, that's all it will continue to use at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour, before the 3.5 litre V6 petrol engine kicks in, controlled via a 6-speed CVT auto gearbox. This mechanical package offers 308 brake horsepower and there's a useful 335 newton meters of torque for towing. It sounds quite good too, thanks to a sound generator system that creates a performance-style air intake roar. The E4 four-wheel drive system's functions have been tuned for quick response when accelerating through bends. There's no real off-piste stability, of course. Lexus doesn't think potential buyers will be interested, and they're probably right. As for handling, well, other rivals offer a more involving drive. The RX is still one of the most comfortable and refined SUVs in its class, though. Not too many dynamic changes feature with this revised version of the AL20 series model. Apparently, the structure is slightly stiffer, there are new shock absorbers, and the RX is now equipped with active cornering assist, torque vectoring to maximise cornering traction. There are clever new blade scan adaptive high beam headlights too. Otherwise, it's as you were. Creating this RXL, the designers were clear that the standard RX model's distinctive coupe-like profile had to be preserved. But look more closely and you'll notice that not only is the RXL longer at the rear, that's thanks to an extra 110mm of rear overhang, but that the angle of its tailgate has also been made slightly steeper. That final fine adjustment is actually important in making sure that there's comfortable headroom for anyone sitting in the 3rd row seats. Even more valuable millimetres have been gained simply by moving the rear wiper mechanism from the top to the bottom of the window. Move to the front, and if you're familiar with this 4th generation RX model, you'll note that in this improved form it features smarter bumpers and a redesigned front spindle grille. The cabin does, of course, completely replicate that of a normal RX model at the front, and, like a normal RX, has been recently improved with the addition of a revised multimedia centre dash touchscreen that, at last, features Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring. Now, the interior is designed to be a social space, incorporating what Lexus designers call a lounge effect that's open and light and where it's easy for everyone to see what's happening, share conversations, enjoy the in-car entertainment together on longer journeys. The rear bench sits directly on top of 3 battery packs that power the hybrid drive system and offers leather-stitched luxury embellished by the way that these seats slide and recline for greater long-distance comfort. 2 people will be especially comfortable, optionally separated by a smart fold-out armrest incorporating twin cup holders and a covered compartment. The top RXL Takumi model can be specified with 2 individual captain-style chairs in the second row in place of this 3-seat bench. Accessing the third row has been made easy with a one-touch lever control on the outer second row seats, which tips the seat back forward and slides the bench smoothly away so that you can get in. These rearmost seats are finished to the same high quality as the rest of the cabin, but as you might expect, are really only intended for kids. They could, though, now be used for adults on shorter trips, thanks to changes that Lexus has made to this revised model, which have introduced a second seating position angle back here, which can free up an extra 94mm of leg space when the situation demands. You get vents provided on both sides, separate air conditioning controls, and you can also use a pair of provided electric switches to alter the seating position. Raise the powered tailgate and you'll find that, as with any 7-seat SUV which has all 3 seating rows in place, there's very little boot space, just 176 litres in this case. Fold the third row into the floor though, which can be here done electrically, and the capacity figure for the format that most owners will commonly use rises to 432 litres. That's measured to the tonneau cover, which is only 21 litres less than you get from a standard RX in this configuration. Fold the second seating row into the floor and that figure rises to 966 litres, or 1,656 litres if you measure from floor to roof. From the launch of this revised model in mid-2019, list prices for the RXL 450h Hybrid started at around £52,000. As for trim levels, well, Lexus offers RXL, RXL Premium Pack and Takumi spec options, with prices running up to around £64,000 at the very top of the range. That's decent value compared to notable rivals like Audi's Q7, plusher variants of Land Rover's Discovery and 7-seat versions of the Range Rover Sport. 4-wheel drive and hybrid power are both non-negotiable across the lineup, and all RXL models, as you'd expect, are very well equipped. Across the range, you'll find standard features like full leather upholstery and powered seats, dual-zone climate control, rear privacy glass, heated front seats, the Lexus navigation system with an 8-inch display screen, a 9-speaker audio setup with DAB, a reversing camera, LED headlamps, roof rails and dual chrome-tipped exhausts. This improved RX comes with the latest version of the Lexus Safety System Plus package, fitted of course as standard and providing active safety systems that help prevent or mitigate collisions in the most common traffic accident scenarios. Elements include a pre-collision system, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, a sway warning system, traffic sign recognition and automatic high beam and adaptive high beam systems, the latter featuring world first blade scan technology, which gives the driver a wider field of illumination at night. The returns on offer from the RXL 450h are virtually the same as those for the 5-seat model. So the combined cycle return from the full hybrid engine, WLTP rated at 34.4 miles to the gallon, is very little different. as is the case with the NEDC emissions figure, 138 grams per kilometre of CO2 with 18-inch wheels fitted, which equates to a super low 31% benefit in kind taxation rating that'll save you a considerable amount over what you'd pay for a diesel engine rival, even a mild hybrid diesel engine model. Because this is a full hybrid, much of the time when you're waiting at a traffic crossing, for example, with the engine seamlessly disabled and battery power in motion, you won't be emitting any CO2 at all. Electric-only use doesn't just eliminate CO2 dirtiness, it also gets rid of NOx exhaust emissions too. Green friendliness today's government wants to incentivise. Insurance is rated at Group 41E or 42E for the top Takumi model. There's a 3-year, 60,000 mile warranty and a separate 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty on the hybrid battery. An extra seating row can make all the difference. Having this Lexus RX in longer wheelbase L form means that when you want a night out with friends, for example, you need only take one car, or the kids can invite friends back. Everything's much easier in those kinds of situations, and the RX can at last compete on equal terms with many of its most important direct segment rivals. Otherwise, the reasons why you might want an RX haven't changed. This isn't the most capable luxury SUV you can buy, it isn't the sportiest to drive, and it's not the most affordable to buy. But despite all of that, it will continue to attract a significant following in this segment. Once you've bought the thing, after all, its running costs can be usefully less than even the most frugal of its diesel competitors. While other manufacturers dithered over hybrid technology, Toyota's Lexus division got on and developed it. Their first hybrid RX was an impressive achievement, and this fourth-generation design has added more style and extra technology to existing strengths of comfort, refinement and a high specification. It's a tempting package, and in RXL form, a usefully more spacious one.